Rymir's district court cases. Diddy wants Buzbee to stop practicing law in New York. The untimely death of Angie Stone. Hello, everybody. This is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, everybody. Let's talk about it. It's been a little minute before I've been on here. I've been doing the live, everybody, but I have not been coming on like I like to. Let me just see if I can get this thing to work. But this is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil, and I am just glad to be here with you today so that we could talk about what we need to talk about. And a couple of things we want to talk about is Rymir's district court case. Rymir and myself, we have a district court case in New Jersey. Some of y'all know all about it. Go and Google it. Google our names. It'll tell you everything. Well, nonetheless, we are been doing this case for a minute, and it seems like there's been some delays. So we're going to share a couple things with you guys just so you can understand what we are trying to figure out ourselves. And if you know something we don't, please tell us. At this time, we're going to just bring in the information. I'm going to see if I got populated. But in the name of goodwill, good everything, I want to just say I'm glad to be here today. All right, so let's see. We're going to go back to where I was. I hope everybody is doing well and making it through what they need to make it through. I'm going to try to share my screen of, I don't know if it's going to come up. Yeah, this is the thing about just sharing the screen thing. Let's see if we can do the entire screen. I think here it is. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is share a screen regarding our district court case in New Jersey. And I know people have been asking about us. We had a amended complaint that we submitted, I want to say January. And then somewhere in the mix of that, and everything is documented on the court document, the markups got truncated by mistake, which looked like it was not a part of the submittal. So it was a little situation with that. When we got that in, And then there was supposed to be an answer to our original complaint, I believe somewhere in February, probably February, something like that. Don't have the dates, but they're just all on the docket. Nonetheless, that wasn't done. It appears that there was a lot of requests for extensions by the defendant, which is the deputy district attorney or attorney general. So here is our document for those who sent it to me. Of course, I have it because we sent it. And this basically is asking the judge for clarification. So let's just make sure we understand why we did it. Don't try to twist it onto something else, everybody. It was basically asking the judge to give us clarification on the dates, because the dates were kind of confusing. On one end, they're asking for extensions. On the next end, there is a motion to amend on the table. And then they're still not answering it. They're still asking for extensions. And then when the judge grants it for the third or fourth time, a 2-week extension, then it's only for the motion. So what happened to the complaint? And that's what we've been trying to get from the judge to let us know, because we need to know what that looks like. Now, there is a couple things that's going to probably be happening in a few weeks, which we can't talk about right now. But I got a memo or a text asking me, was someone trying to delay our case, or did it seem like that? And I said, it might be. It could be. I don't know for sure, but it always seems like when you're dealing with this kind of stuff and you're dealing with people that might be considered in the limelight, that's a part of the general scope of the case. Yeah, there seems like there could be some situations going on there. Nonetheless, that's it right here for those who might be keeping track of that. So we wanted to make sure you knew what was going on with our case, the docket number and all that. I'm going to see if I can make this larger, and then you can, yeah, there we go. And then you can just look at this yourself and see, get the number and get it off the docket. This was sent to Judge, the Magistrate Pascal, Elizabeth Pascal, and she's been working on the case. And like we said, we're just trying to get clarity. And as of today, March 3rd, we have not. So that's true. We have not gotten any clarity. So you make sure when you put your reports out there and you're following the case, there is a couple sites out there that basically will give you all the filings of the case. They do charge. Nonetheless, if it depends on how you want to report on it. Because when you want to report on it, you want to report on it with clarity and make sure it's making sense and all that kind of stuff so that your report is good. So yeah, that is the main thing that was happening with our case. We are looking to get clarity on that, and then hopefully that will move along the way we want it to move along. I hope that answered the questions, because there was a report out there saying some other things, and we're not really into our stuff right now for real. But we're hoping that all the reporting will be done closest to what it is, as opposed to it not. All right. So I want to stop that from right now and say that we just want to kind of go on from there. And I'm going to figure this out on how to keep the stuff that's lightning from being in a part of my screen here. Every time I fix it, something else happens to it. All right, that seems like a lot better, I think. But at any rate, so yeah, if you have any questions or comments about that on a district court case in New Jersey, and you want to ask questions, just feel free to do so. But like I said, the docket is there, out there. If you Google our names, you'll get all the information on that. And if you report on it, please, if you can, try to get the right information. We're happy to respond if there's something you're confused about, or so forth and so on. We just like good reporting so that you don't have to go over something 3 and 4 times. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm glad you're here. I hadn't been on for a while, so I just wanted to come on and kind of talk. And I usually like to go on my page so I can see who's out there, and then we can talk together. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, all right, let's see. We'll go back to that. Let's see. All right, so I'm back here. I'm just trying to see what's going on my page. So that way, if we have anybody there where I can ask questions and so forth and so on. All right, so is there anything we want to talk about in regard to that? I love questions. We love questions. So you can ask all the questions you want to ask, and we'll be happy to have those questions answered. All right. The next thing we wanted to talk about was P. Diddy and how he had been looking for. It's funny. He's really a funny guy, y'all. He seemed like to me that he wanted Attorney Tony Buzbee to stop working for the Southern District of New York. And there was some drama with that. And I wanted to share that because I thought, one, it was funny. And two, I'm big on the advocates. I'm going to be always for the victim. And I know everybody's not a victim. I know that some people lie through their teeth. But there are a lot of us, including myself, that are victims of different things that we want to be heard. And it's important that a victim does not lose their voice in the noise. And sometimes it's just that noise. And nobody's listening to noise. Not when you're hurting. Not when you need somebody to help you out. So at any rate, we found that in this regard, we wanted to look at, and I wanted to try to get this for you so you can see. This is so much light on my face right now. Whew, it's so hot. And it's not even a big thing, big light. It's a small one, but that thing is powerful. But now what I want to do is go into the screen I want to share for you guys on P. Diddy and his quest, if you will, to have Buzbee not work, so to speak. And this is one of my favorite bloggers, Kadishalyn, excellent young lady in reporting. She really gets the facts together. She has a great story to tell. And I'm just glad to be able to bring it to you. So we want to just start playing that. And I want to just first find out where I'm at. But this light thing is really in my way right here. Let me just see, y'all. Yep. There it is. Okay. So I want to fix this first, and then I'll play it. And I'm going to take my time because we're going to be on here for a minute. I want you to come on in, share the broadcast with other people. Let's talk about it, everybody. Let's be adults and talk about the problem. Talk about the issues. Talk about the concerns. So this portion here, I thought was important for everybody to see. And each time I play whatever I play, it's always for me first. It hits home. And the reason why this is a concern, as I said, because of the victim stuff, and for you having somebody trying to quiet someone who's an advocate for victims. You know, it's hard to be an attorney, period, an honest one, because there's a lot of corrupt attorneys out there, and some of them are just not great. It's like any other profession. But they really speak a word for other people. They're a voice for other people. And it's important for us to remember that. And trying to silence them ain't cool either. So I don't know what's that all about, but it sounds like hanky-panky to me. So now I don't want to keep talking about it, but I do want to just go on and give you what I see in this as we both listen to it together. So here it is, y'all.
A lot of misinformation going around about Tony Buzbee, that he was just disbarred from New York and that he's possibly going to lose all of the cases that he filed against Diddy in the New York Southern District. Crazy enough, all of this also might explain why the lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy was dismissed with prejudice. And a lot of reason this misinformation was going around is all because Tony Buzbee's petition to be admitted to the Southern District of New York was just denied by a judge. And a lot of the media ran with this and tried saying, oh, Tony Buzbee's disbarred. All of these Diddy cases are no longer going to continue to move forward. But they were going a little bit too far with this. In the same motion, the judge says, in the event that Mr. Buzbee moves for pro hac vice or regular admission in the court in the future, he must attach a copy of this order to his motion or petition. Just for a little bit of understanding, pro hac vice means that it allows an out-of-state lawyer to practice law in the jurisdiction where they are not licensed to practice law. And just so you know, Tony Buzbee was able to practice law in New York State and the Eastern District of New York, but he basically wasn't registered for the Southern District of New York. Now, of course, Tony Buzbee wasted no time, and he did file for pro hac vice, which at first was denied because he didn't submit it with a wet signature. And this is literally nothing. Basically, he just electronically submitted his signature, but a wet signature needed to be a handwritten signature made with a pen or another marking on the physical document itself. A lot of the media was just going crazy about this. They were spreading lies saying that Tony Buzbee was totally disbarred from filing cases in New York City. And they were like, all of these Diddy cases are going to be dropped. This is horrible. Well, that's not the case, because the motion for Tony Buzbee to serve under pro hac vice has been granted by the judge. Now, this case against Diddy will be able to move forward in the Southern District of New York. All Tony Buzbee had to do was do a physical signature on this pro hac vice admission paper. Tony Buzbee will have to go ahead and do all of these individually in the Southern District of New York, but you can assume they're probably going to be accepted by the judges, just like this one was. Now I'm going to tell you the very interesting part on how this ties back to the Jay-Z and Diddy case. In the list of sanctions that Jay-Z and Alex Spiro wanted on Tony Buzbee, they are the ones that said that Tony Buzbee was not even admitted to the Southern District of New York. During this time, Tony Buzbee told the judge that he was admitted to practice in the Eastern District of New York, and he intended to apply for the Southern District of New York, but she gave him the February 14th, 2025 deadline. The day that Tony Buzbee dropped this Jane Doe lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy was the same day that he was ordered to show proof of admission to the Southern District of New York. Keep an eye on this date. This judge said this on January 28th of 2025. Not even a week later is when Jay-Z and Alex Spiro would say that they wanted to drop the sanctions against Tony Buzbee after talking to the plaintiff's counsel, which would be Tony Buzbee, who consented to the submission and agrees to the withdrawal without prejudice. Basically saying Tony Buzbee agreed for them to remove the sanctions against him. Which to me makes no sense why Alex Spiro and Jay-Z would have dropped these sanctions against Tony Buzbee. Because if Tony Buzbee was not permitted to practice law, this is something that he could have been sanctioned for. This is what has me even more confused, because Jay-Z is the one that said that this lawyer gets to walk away without repercussions and the system has failed. But if you knew that Tony Buzbee was not even able to practice law in the Southern District of New York, he could have tried to get these sanctions on Tony Buzbee. But instead, he randomly withdrew them. And he admitted that he talked to Tony Buzbee about this. And then not even a week later, Tony Buzbee drops this whole lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy with prejudice, meaning it can never be brought up. Instead of trying to move forward like he's doing with all of these other cases against Diddy, pro hac vice. To me, in my opinion, the only thing that makes sense, it sounds like there was a conversation. We will drop trying to go after you for sanctions because we know we got you. If you drop this lawsuit with prejudice, that way it can never be brought up again. Now, I could be wrong. This is only my guess, but this is absolutely the only thing in the world that makes sense about this. For you to drop sanctions on somebody that you knew, you're the one that brought this up. Jay-Z and his lawyers are the one that brought this up about Tony Buzbee and basically put it into the air and let it be known. And this is why now Tony Buzbee is having to address this. But if you knew this and you were going after him for sanctions, why in the world would you stop it? You were saying that this man brought on false stories about you on purpose and he slandered your name and all of this, and you said that you're going to go after him, but you stopped doing exactly what you said you were going to do, and you had it in the bag, honestly. The only lawsuit out of all 30 lawsuits that Tony Buzbee has filed, he drops without prejudice against you and Diddy. I don't know, there's still a lot more coming out about this, but it doesn't look like Diddy's necessarily off the hook like what the media is trying to portray. But you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Diddy's lawsuits filed by Tony Buzbee.
So I think I was trying to play actually another one of her videos, but that was fine too. It was needed to be said again. Of course, there were a lot of lies on out there about Tony Buzbee. You can go back to our videos and look, but for the sake of it repeating, I'm going to repeat it again. He never was disbarred, as she already said. He was supposed to have a wet or a live or a real signature as opposed to electronic. And that made his application that he submitted. He submitted a application to be accepted into the Southern District of New York. He wanted to go a little bit higher than a pro vice, he say, but he decided to go that route. And as a result, he, because of that, having the wet signature or not having it caused problems. So at any rate, I think she did good in trying to give us what we needed as far as, I'm trying to make sure this doesn't fall off my chair. she gave us the background, and we talked about this before. So I was just reiterating this so that you guys could have information on it. But I really wanted to give you something on her station, on her channel, regarding the files. But again, sometimes when stuff happens, it happens for a reason. So we knew he wanted the files thrown out. And I thought this was important to talk about as well, because when you have evidence, evidence is obviously necessary to make your case. And make sure when you do, you have your evidence, everybody, have it in a lot of different places. Make sure many people know about it and do whatever. Because you see what happened with the fires. I mean, this Allie Carter said that there were going to be fires in December. And then January came, there was fires. So some people will go through everything they can to cover the cover up. Ask me how I know. I've been through a lot of that kind of stuff. Nobody's really had to try. They did try at one point to get the files from us. Some people, we got wind on some things and we were told of what we were told. This was a while back. But nonetheless, because I got law enforcement officers in my family and military people, I kind of get in the inside information. But at the end of the day, I just thought it was interesting how when this came out about the files and how he wants the files, the very thing that pins him to the stuff. And this is why it's important for you to have several copies of your files and your files in different areas, because if they do try to come after the files, you'll have other versions of it, not versions, but other copies of it, and you should be able to prove your case. Now, in this case, he's trying to actually have the files thrown out. He don't want the evidence, and obviously that's not going to happen. But at any rate, let's just go and see what she's talking about, because she has another great video on this. I think it's worth watching together and then talking about on the other side. So let's see. We're going to talk about the evidence he wants thrown out. We know the evidence ain't going to get thrown out, but he wants it. So let's see what we have here. Let me just make sure my screen is right. All right, so you guys can see everything beautifully. And then we'll go from there over here and play the thing. All right, everybody, here we go. We're going to unmute it.
In his case thrown out. Diddy just filed a motion to the judge seeking to suppress all of the evidence from all of the raids that were done on him. Diddy is trying to say that the government got search warrants based on the stories from multiple people that are lying because they had financial incentives to do so. And in this motion, Diddy got raided a lot more times than what I even knew about. Diddy is asking the court to suppress all evidence and all fruits obtained from the following search warrants. The first one on January 4th of 2024 to search Diddy's iCloud accounts. The search warrants on March 22nd of 2024, which were to search his Los Angeles residence and his Miami residence. A search warrant that was performed 3 days later on March 25th of 2024 to search Diddy's person and to seize and search 2 of his cell phones referred to the government as Combs number 1 and Combs number 2, and to extract the information from those cell phones. Another search warrant that was served on September 16th of 2024 to search his person again and to seize and search 2 additional cell phones referred by the government as Combs number 3 and Combs number 4. And a search warrant that was performed September 16th of 2024, the day Diddy was arrested, to search his room at the Park Hyatt Hotel and seize evidence. And in this motion, Diddy is asking for a Franks hearing, which is a court proceeding that challenges the validity of a search warrant. Now, Diddy is saying that the government's warrants application hid critical evidence regarding the credibility of other witnesses. He said that the government sought to corroborate victim one's allegations and make related allegations with statements from other witnesses and victims. And they're trying to say that one of the people that they relied on was this worker number one, but a lot of this information is blacked out, so you don't know exactly what he's saying. He also said they got information from assistant one. And I think assistant one might just be Philip Hines, the man that just was on the fall of Diddy and showed us all of these receipts and text messages from his time working with Diddy. This man had so much and even admitted that he testified to the grand jury. Not only did he have tons of text messages from Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Christina Coram, he also had a ton of voice notes from Diddy that he played on the fall of Diddy. And all of this had to do with those freak-off parties that at the time he called Wild King Nights. He then goes on to say that the government used producer one, and some of the most salacious allegations recounted in the warrants came from producer one, who the government now says it will not even call to testify at trial. The investigator indicated that it had interviewed producer one, and producer one had relayed stories about his time working for Diddy. And I'm pretty sure that this is Little Rod Jones, who filed a lawsuit against Diddy, who was a producer during the Love album. Diddy then went on to talk about how they used Victim 2 and Victim 3 to help get these search warrants. And even Victim 4, which we have never heard about yet. Diddy just got hit with a superseding indictment that included 2 more victims. But in this motion, Diddy lists victim number 4. But Diddy tries to say that the government made no effort to corroborate victim 4's claims, and if it had conducted a reasonable investigation, it would have obtained evidence contradicting her account. Diddy also says that the government used designer number 1, and I'm pretty sure designer number 1 is Cassie's best friend who worked as a designer for Diddy and Cassie, who is the same woman who was hung over that balcony in that hotel when Diddy was allegedly attacking Cassie. If you remember, a couple months ago, she sued Diddy, but also when the feds just put out their superseding indictment, they listed this part in that superseding indictment. Now, Diddy is basically trying to say that the government didn't get these search warrants basically in a legal way. They used fabricated stories to get these search warrants because these people had a financial motive to lie. I think the only reason Diddy is saying that they had a financial motive to lie is because all of these people actually had lawsuits. The assistant, Philip Hines, he has a lawsuit. Little Rod Jones, he has a lawsuit. Cassie, if she's victim number 1, she has a lawsuit. The designer that was hung over the balcony, she has a lawsuit. So it's almost like Diddy is using them having lawsuits against him by trying to say that they have financial motives to lie. He says not only did they have the general financial motive to fabricate something, that information would be put mildly and raise doubts about their credibility. So basically saying that the government got search warrants not even knowing if these people were actually credible. In my opinion, and I am not a lawyer, I don't think that this is going to go anywhere. I think Diddy is really just trying to stop and pray and hope that all of this evidence gets suppressed because then they can't use it in trial against him. I think Diddy knows out of all of these raids that were done on him, the evidence that they have is pretty damning. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
All right. So we have 2 things we did with Diddy. And we did that in order to show you 2 different things for your own cases or friends and family and people you may know. One, to make sure you have your facts and your ducks in a row. And make sure your evidence is protected. Now, Allie Carter is a young lady who said she was a victim of some of this trafficking and it was part of these parties and stuff of this nature. And she talked about tunnels and houses and things like that. And then supposedly when these fires took place, some of the damages of the fire could be because of they wanted to hide it or somebody's trying to hide it. Nonetheless, I just know that even if you burn something to the ground, you can still see there was tunnels and blah, blah, blah. that's another story, everybody. I think this is important to just continue to tune in, listen up, pay attention. You want to be a part of the community, you could be a part of the community to be a good witness too. So I'm not saying just run after money, because money, you don't need to run after money. Because you run after money, you're going to run into some problems. But if you've had some legitimate concerns and things that have happened, that will give you a reason to do what you do. So that was one of the main things I wanted to show that for, because I felt that the whole Diddy thing with how they're trying to do, well, you got to watch what some of the attorneys do. Some of the attorneys are not good and not ethical. Now, this case obviously is out in the open, but you can watch their language and what they say for your own stuff. Now, obviously, it'll be different from case to case, but there's not too much of a difference when it comes down to federal law. Application is another story. But having your evidence, and of course, knowing that your evidence is good, obviously is what you're going to use to fight your case. So quite naturally, he would want that to be thrown out. Good luck with that, sir. But at the end of the day, there were 2 videos with that. So I had a concern this week about one of the actresses that died. Actually, it was last week. And it sounds like to me that a lot of times when you're in the limelight, not all the time, but sometimes, it really can catapult you into a lifestyle that you're not ready for. And I know some people's deaths and things that happen around the city and the world, all of it obviously bad, but some of them kind of touch you. And when the persons are young, they have so much to live for, and crazy stuff happens. So I don't know. This one kind of touched me. I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit. It's just one of these things where you wonder if something could have been better. This is the young lady. Her name is Michelle Trachtenberg. She is gone at the age of 39. Now, it's not clear how she died. I mean, even if it was natural causes, that's obviously still not great. But it's kind of heartbreaking still because of her age. Of course, there's different reports out there for different things. But you see another actress that didn't make it to 40. Some of them barely making it past 30. Of a lifestyle. I'm not saying for her, but sometimes it could be a lifestyle that comes with this whole industry that causes young people the pressure and all these other things that go along with a lifestyle that they can't succumb to. Now, I'm not clear on her death. I'm looking at the article now because there was different stories out there. And I think they're in a nutshell, it didn't have too much information, but let's look at it. It says Michelle Trachtenberg's cause and manner of death has officially been released. Okay, here it is. The Office of Chief Medical in New York, where Trachtenberg was found dead early Wednesday, ruled both cause and the manner of death as undermined, according to a statement shared yesterday on USA Today. What are they saying here? They both ruled and called the manner of death as undetermined. That's what I see here. I need my glasses. Undetermined. Undetermined can mean either there was an inadequate cause of the assesses how the person died, or that information is conflicting with equal amounts of supporting or negating specific manner of death, such as a natural or accidental. Trachtenberg's family declined an autopsy, and medical examiners' office honored that request. So there it is. The death seems to be undetermined. No information. The family don't even want an autopsy. But I just feel for me that a lot of this crazy stuff is just not good. Me and my godson will be talking a little bit about this as we're going around talking about what could have happened to him and being a part of the music industry. He didn't go in there like he was going to go. He stopped it. It was nothing I did. He decided that it was too much, and he didn't go in it. And he feels that if he did, he might not be here today. So what do you guys think? Do you think the industry has really changed? Has it went down the toilet for real? I mean, you got great actors and you got great actresses, but it's so much other sick stuff going on. I don't know how you can enjoy it. How can you enjoy what's going on with all of this happening? I don't see it. I just feel like something's gotten lost. Something is wrong. And somewhere along the line, we can probably fix it, everybody. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to bring this on about her because I was a little upset about it. I'm not even going to lie. I was upset about the whole thing. There's too much light in my face right now. I'm just going to change it. You know, I'm going to do what I want right here. But that's much better because it's too much light. It's a little light on there, the camera thing, but it's too big. I mean, it's too strong. But I was wondering, I said to myself, what was it that took this young girl's life? What happened, everybody? What happened to Michelle Trachtenberg? Go into an industry, be an actress, 39 years old. And her family do not want an autopsy. They declined. They don't want to know. Some of these tragedies and things that could happen or does happen, it's hard. So I wonder if we're ever going to get back to a better industry, music industry, entertainment industry, where it's less evil. All these things that has been going on for the last 5 or 10 years. It's been hard to watch. And there's people in the industry, at least in my opinion, that missed their call. They really was supposed to be doing something else, but they found themselves in the industry doing what they're doing. And here we have it. Here we find a whole lot of crazy stuff happening in their lives, so forth and so on. It's just sad though. That's all I want to say about that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Let me know. What are you thinking about this? Do you think this was a suspicious thing? Do you think that something happened being caught up in the industry? Because it's the same type of rumors and stuff that's going on with Angie Stone, which we're about to get in. People are saying that she started talking about the industry and how it was not great and things were demonic and evil and people's lives were being sacrificed. And now she's not here. Now, it could be a real situation where this was an accident, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're hoping somebody didn't try to tamper. But according to her, there was people that were set up, so to speak, for unaliving them. And just like this young lady here, I just feel like we got work to do. We need to talk about, we need to think about, we need to be about what we need to think and talk and be about. And I don't know all the answers, but I know we should be able to do something more than talk about it. So my godson was going to come on probably later on today to talk about why he didn't go in and what he thinks about the industry, because the industry has its issues. It's got things that's been going on with it for a long time, and people they're tired of it. They don't want to be dealing with this. But I was trying to find also a video that Sharon Stone had did, and this was based on not Sharon. I'm not Sharon Stone. It's actually Angie, everybody. Angie Stone, she talked about the industry and how there were some problems, so forth and so on. And I wanted to share that because Angie she was a very spiritual person, very spiritual. And, you know, stuff like that happens. It just kind of bothers you when people die like this. But let me see whether or not I could find when she talked about that. I may not, because I was looking for it earlier, believe it or not, and I couldn't find it. But I wanted to find what she said about that. You know, All right, I think I might have it, but we'll see. I'm going to just, I'm going to see if I can get it out. Yeah, I'm going to see if this one, it's because some of the videos I was watching earlier, they act like they want to tell you it is that, but it's not. They, everybody's got the same idea. It's to say who did what. It's just tied to the industry, people in the industry, so to speak, who want to do away with somebody for whatever reason, and trying to tie it all in. But we're not trying to do that because I know that's a big deal. And it's you got to know your facts and talking about it, but you also want to be able to let whoever we're talking about speak, because sometimes people speak from their death or before they death, and that's the whole point to that. So I'm gonna see if this one gives us anything. If it doesn't, I'm gonna let it go. But I wanted to honor her because I had a chance of meeting her even before she got huge, in Baltimore and some other places where she did her music and did her thing. She was tied to people I know, because I got people in the music industry too, y'all. And I just thought that it would be nice to, to bring about what I think is good for us to talk about when things like this happen. That we don't just walk by it and act like it's an everyday normal thing. It's not. So we have some legends who have come across our paths who have been excellent, who've been great, who've been very forthcoming in their careers and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to play that with this, and we'll see if the guy here talks, it lets her talk. I might just skip over it. I don't know. Okay, let me see. All right, we're gonna give him a chance. We're gonna give him a chance, everybody.
Angie Stone passed away at the age of 63 years old after a tragic car crash in Alabama, where she was the only fatality. You also know that Angie Stone has had a legendary career both in hip-hop and in R&B music, and it was just back in December where she was calling out Universal Music for not paying her for her music.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanical, they have all pretty much been stolen. After 40-something years in the business, I'm like, where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. Even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs, all the songs that I've done. I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to, people that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my.
So that video was back in December, and Angie Stone has been touring very much like a lot of musical acts, they tour in order to make money, because they don't make money based off of streaming and royalties and things like that. They make very little money. What she was saying in that video is that there is money that she was supposed to make that she did not receive. Although Angie Stone may be gone, she still has children and grandchildren that are owed that money, and I hope that they will continue to fight in her name.
I'm very glad and happy for that came out to be what it needed to be as far as Miss Stone. And again, I wanted to honor her because I met her, and to hear her say that she's been owed money. We hope that her children get that money. And we know that there's a lot of stuff that happens with the industry, y'all. One of the reasons why my godson didn't go in it, and not saying it's all bad stuff, it's just a lot of stuff and a lot of moving parts. And you kind of need to know what you're doing, who you're talking to, and where you're going in that industry in order to be effective. So I thought that was a really interesting thing, and just honoring her. And then, of course, the other young lady, Michelle Trachtenberg, just a whole, tragedy that goes along with being in certain professions. Sometimes people don't make it. Things just don't work out too well. And I don't think that's a good thing, everybody. I really don't. But I want to keep moving. I want to keep talking. I want to keep us going where we're going in this. I think this is a good conversation to have. I don't see any comments or anything. But if you have any comments, I need to probably refresh. Let me see if I can refresh. You guys, thank you for watching. Please like, click, and share. I'm just waiting for some comments. I love comments and questions, everybody. So we're going to see where that goes. But yeah. So it's just a lot sometimes, and we don't know why things happen the way they do, but we are grateful that we can be a part of things that are moving and progressing in our lives. All right, so let's move on. I think we're going to move on to our next topic. Our next topic is one of my other favorite broadcasting or bloggers is TicketTv. Now, he's been doing a lot with Diddy, all of the stuff, all the persons are connected to that. He apparently is either paralegal or lawyer, somewhere close to that. He's really good when it comes down to getting the information. And I always think it's good to go and see what he's doing over there. We're going to keep praying that he stays healthy, that he stays together, he stays well. I don't want nothing to happen to him. I think that trying to keep information available to people and open it up to people and all the stuff that go along with that is important, everybody. So we don't always understand why things happen the way they do, but you have people that are very good in getting us information, and he's one of them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to his thing. I had like 2 different ones with him, but the RICO was a big one. RICO, as most of you know, is that racketeering, because we know Diddy didn't do this by himself, right? You can't do all what he's doing by yourself. So he basically has information on the RICO, and I think this is very important because this helps us with the bigger picture on it takes organized crime or organizations of people or coordinations of people to carry out something. That when you're doing certain things, you can't do it by yourself. Like in our case, we believe that the judges, the attorneys, and the clients work together to cover the cover up. That's what we believe, right? And that's our allegation. So that's kind of like a RICO when there's a coordinated effort of things happening. And we know that Diddy had other people to help him with his stuff. Now, some of the stuff he says that people did because they grown. They do what they want. That's what he said. He said they do what they want. They're grown and this, that, and the other. And that's all true. But at the end of the day, I think it went over. It went over. And that's where I think he made a mistake. I think he has a beautiful gift and calling to be a hospitable person in the area of hospitality. But unfortunately, he went too far with it. So now we see um, all these other things that are happening that don't have to be, but of course they're happening, and that we kind of wish it didn't happen, because I saw a report out there of Diddy's mom, and I know that he didn't just get this way on his own, right? I know that he learned this somewhere else too, right? So at the end of the day, I just think this is important for us to keep that in mind, that that's kind of racketeering too, because you get an organized family, if you will, that can kind of show you stuff. And I'm not saying his mother did, but he might have learned it from somewhere. And I think if she had parties, maybe he got some of it there and there. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with having a party. The party's beautiful. There are people that are very hospitable, know how to give you a good party. But when it crosses the line for a lot of stuff that, that might not be really legal. And I'm not talking just about the sex, but the sex is kind of disgraceful too, if you got kids in the house or people around there, but also drugs, illegal drugs, because we know drugs change the chemical makeup of your brain. So you're not thinking the way you would normally think. You just ain't. You probably want to, but you don't. So at any rate, I just think that this is interesting. So I want to kind of back out and let y'all see and hear from TicketTv, because he's excellent. He knows how to do what we need to get done as far as information, and information brings revelation. And that's what I want y'all to have. So I know, like I tell people, I pick stuff and do stuff because of my own experiences, and also because I feel like sometimes these things can help you out. So yeah, let's do it, y'all. Let's go see what he's talking about with that racketeering stuff.
Y'all see that? Pursuant to this court scheduling, ECF 125, this is why it's important for these bums and scrubs on YouTube that try to come against me talking shit to read that fine print, dog, before you come running your mouth. And this is Diddy's lawyer saying this. Pursuant to the court scheduling ECF 125, the government, so the government is the feds, the FBI, the government, provided defense counsel, that's Diddy's lawyers, defense counsel. I got to break it down for these people in layman's terms, because y'all know they ain't got no brains. The government provided the defense counsel with their enterprise letter on February the 1st, 2025. So while we were all waiting for the enterprise letter to be dropped, and they said, oh, they ain't gonna drop the enterprise letter, nigga, they gave it to Diddy already. You know why they gave it to Diddy? Because Diddy won that motion, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. Because the feds wanted to hold it until May or March the 7th. That's what the feds wanted to do. But the judge said, nah, I ain't gonna let y'all do that, because Diddy's lawyers said they wanted it on February the 1st. I reported this before, but y'all didn't listen. His lawyers said they wanted the letter on February the 1st because they needed enough time to build a defense. But guess what, y'all? I'm about to tell y'all what the feds did to this nigga right now. It says, the government provided defense counsel with their enterprise letter on February the 1st, 2025. We have since conferred with the government, requesting a list of the anonymized victims and witnesses list in the enterprise letter. Do y'all not know what that means? Do y'all not know what that means? The feds out here playing super ugly with Diddy. The feds gave Diddy the enterprise list of all of the people they have already charged as co-conspirators. But y'all know what the feds didn't do? they left the names anonymous when they gave the filing to Diddy. And you know why the feds did this? The feds did this because they probably think it's going to be some type of tampering, allegedly. So Diddy is going crazy. And I'm going to read this to y'all so y'all can see. It says, we have since conferred with the government, requesting a list of the anonymized victims and witnesses listed in the enterprise letter. The government responded that they will provide the defense with this list when they produced 3,500 material on March the 21st, 2025. Hip hop just died this morning and she's dead. She's dead. The bigger the gat, bigger the pillin'. Come through with something ill, missing the ceiling. Now these niggas said it was no evidence. That's what these bums on YouTube told me. These bums. Now it all makes sense. Why Diddy's lawyers just came out this week asking for all the evidence to be suppressed. Because Diddy's lawyers are saying, they're alleging that the raid was illegal and that the feds, see, this gonna go past some of these niggas' head now, got all of Diddy's personal information, basically covering his entire life. They said the feds even got into this nigga iCloud. Now, I had people coming on YouTube telling me, hey, Ticket, they can't get in his iCloud. iCloud stuck, man, get the hell out of here, man. You better find who the hell I be. Diddy's lawyer said that the feds even got the info from Diddy's iCloud. They said that they damn near got all the info on Diddy's whole life. Now, it makes sense why Diddy's black lawyer, Anthony RICO, said, nah, man, under no circumstances can I stay as the lawyer on this case. Ain't no way, I'm gone. Now it makes sense. Read the paperwork. Man, these niggas don't read the paperwork.
Got safety protocols? Grainger has the safety pros to call. Shop our vast inventory.
The feds have not even produced, or excuse me, they have not even produced to Diddy's team the 3,500 material items of evidence that they have against this nigga. And you got all these niggas buck dancing and running around here on YouTube acting a fool, shucking and jiving for P. Diddy. They got 3,500 material evidence on this nigga that they haven't even turned over. They supposed to turn it over in 3 weeks. Read the paperwork. That's why I told y'all, these niggas don't be reading no paperwork. The government responded that they will provide the defense with the list. So meaning that all those names, the government was gonna wait till as long as possible, closest to the case, to give Diddy the names of not only all the victims who's coming against him in this case, but give Diddy the names of all the people who were charged in his conspiracy. And guess what, y'all? When that list comes out, because it's coming out, and I told y'all it's coming out, we gonna find out who snitched and who didn't. And I'm willing to bet y'all, I'm willing to bet anybody, my bottom dollar, that 90%, maybe even 95% of those people who were charged in this federal RICO case gave up information against Sean Diddy Combs. And this is the reason why everything been shaking and moving and everybody don't shut the hell up.
In a nutshell,
because it's all going to come to light
TV.
when that co-conspirators list is dropped.
Let me see. Okay.
And Diddy gets to see.
Let me go over to the right window.
Everybody who was...
Too many windows open. On a nutshell, everybody. He's just basically saying that he finally got his letter. He got his letter, actually. Diddy got his letter February 1st in regard to what he was asking for as far as the co-conspirators to his case. And one of the names of them is right there here in front of you on the screen. But the biggest thing is that he wanted, after he did get it, he wanted the evidence suppressed because Diddy claimed that everyone that wanted to do what they were doing against him, they had a motive. And the motive was they wanted money because they were trying to sue him. So that's a reason in his mind to have the evidence suppressed. Good luck with that, sir. So the whole thing to this, I'm going to move around a little bit. You can go look at it and listen to it to yourself. It's for you to just get a better understanding.
Could these mistakes cost you a comfortable retirement?
What's happening? So you can get a better understanding of just what's happening, what people go through. And again, I always tie it to my own personal story because you never know what's going to be you next. You know, you just never know what your life might lead to, where you might have to get there and stick something out as far as doing what's right. So let's listen to the second part, and then we'll end this up. I just wanted to give you some tidbits on TicketTv because he really does the work. He's not lazy when it comes down to finding out what you need to find out. So you can decipher for yourself. Obviously, some stuff is in the documentation. Some stuff is tied to your opinion and what you interpret. But the other stuff is facts. It's the law. It's the facts. It's the evidence. And all this ties up to where we are now with some people's personal cases with a whole lot of drama that don't really need to be. So at any rate, I'm going to play this for you guys so you guys can hear and see about what his findings were, because I think that this can help people understand better and it can educate them better to, when they talk about it, make sure they talk about the right thing.
State domestic violence charge, you niggas is idiots. Nigga. That was under the RICO charge. Read the paperwork of the indictment of Sean Diddy Combs in front of y'all. That was in count 1. Read your screen with me right now. Read your screen. This is for all of you bums, scrubs that cannot understand why that videotape allegedly is everything. It's not just because of the tape. It's because the tape falls under an alleged RICO act where it proves the racketeering that the feds claim was going on, because the feds say that that tape was a freak off that Cassie was leaving from. That's what the feds say that case was. And the feds say that in that room where Cassie came out of and Diddy ran out of that towel on, feds say that there was a sex worker, male escort allegedly in that room being sex trafficked, according to the feds. That's the reason why that tape means everything. Because now, if you read what Diddy is being charged with, all you mumbo jumbo niggas that don't know nothing about nothing, that's all being charged under.
Hey there, no need to adjust your TV, or more likely your phone. You're watching a recycled commercial.
The Racketeering Act. Read your screen. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy. The grand jury charges for decades Sean Combs, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires. Oh, ticket. Oh, I ain't seen no evidence, nigga. You don't think the feds got text messages? What happens if you said, B word, if you don't come over here right now, because you ain't knowing this is going to be federal years later. You don't know that. But fellas, I tell every last one of y'all listening to this video, watch what you say out your mouth, nigga, on them text messages to them ladies. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Once you hit send, nigga, you can press delete in your phone all you want when you send that text message. Because that's how it used to be back then. You used to page niggas, text people. That never leaves the phone company's files. It's just erased from your phone. So they can go back in the system and get all of those messages from the phone company that you sent. So if you allegedly was threatening this person and they got text messages copied and all of these different things that will be shown in court, all these niggas that say ain't no evidence, they're going to shut their mouth and try and change the subject and move the goalposts like they always do. Right? And they're going to say, oh, well, they trying to take a black man down, but these the same niggas that promote other black men taking other black men down on social media. Anytime 50 Cent says somebody a snitch, they got a video to talk about. But them niggas only get mad when the man comes after black folks. They don't get mad when black folks turn down black. They are part of the fuckery. They praise that shit. It says to do so, this is where all those other people who were probably charged in the RICO that wasn't named, but the feds, they can't say this unless they have evidence. And you probably have people who admitted to doing this under oath, under the penalty of perjury, because that's what Diddy's lawyers said. Diddy's lawyers said they had testimonies. It says to do so, Combs relied on the employees' resources and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, amongst other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping. Remember that Cassie tape? Everybody forgot that Diddy could have been accused of kidnapping Cassie, because when a person is trying to escape you and you beat the holy hell out of them and drag them and stop them from getting away from you, that is kidnapping. Oh yeah. Read it now. Arson. We heard the rumors about Kid Cudi's car getting blown up. Bribery. Didn't the Fed say that Diddy paid the security at the hotel 100 racks to get that video of him beating the hell out of Cassie? That's what the Fed said. And obstruction of justice. Stopping people from testifying. Didn't they say Diddy interfered with Big Nose and got Big Nose to lie on the other girl that was in the band? It says Sean Combs, the defendant, operated his business headquarters at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, blase, blase, blah. Now, I want y'all to read this one right here. Go to number 4 on y'all screen. To all these niggas on YouTube that's running around here acting like a bunch of daggone fools, and told you niggas from day one that Cassie video meant everything. They said, oh, what does Cassie video got to do with this shit? I hear everybody keep saying that shit. But read line number 4, nigga. This shit was under the racketeering count. Physical abuse by Sean Combs, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years. Now, here is where the Cassie video, he's being charged under the RICO for what he did to Cassie in that video, which is why Diddy's lawyers wanted that video thrown out, because that evidence is damning. It says Combs assaulted women. I'm at number 4, y'all. Look at it. By, among other things, and these niggas cannot lie about this shit because that shit was on tape. Nigga, it was on tape. You can't lie about this shit. Can't say the Feds lying about this, nigga. We seen this on tape. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Here's the reason why I never respect that nigga Diddy, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't like that nigga. When Cassie dropped that lawsuit and said that Diddy physically assaulted her and shit, Diddy said all that shit was a lie. That nigga, if that tape would have never came out, these niggas would have destroyed Cassie. They would have effing demonized Cassie. They would have kept calling her every name under the book and said she was all kind of lying.
Why have more than 70,000 patients chosen AirSculpt to remove their stubborn fat?
It is minimally.
I believe you'll hear about a lot of these people that have been able to get probation, reduced sentences, community service. What do I mean? 5-6 years probation.
We're just trying to skip around so you get
10,000 hours.
Because we can't look at all of it. You can always go to his
community
channel and watch
service.
it.
Some of them may do 2 or 3 years or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think it's gonna happen. I don't think you're gonna see, the only ones you're gonna see do the whole meal is the ones who stand tall and don't snitch. But I just truly believe that, it's gonna be a lot of people that save their own ass. Like, man, she ain't doing no 25, 30 for you, bro. Nah, might as well go ahead and tell them what they already know. So, because Diddy's lawyers were saying that witnesses was the ones, and you got to go read the paperwork. Diddy lawyer Mark Anglifo said that witnesses were the ones who testified.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting too. The witnesses were the ones who came to the government and told them what they told them about Diddy. That's why you need to do the right thing, everybody. Your life will catch up with you. People will dime you out. It's not just about the money, but some people it's all about the money. But it's also principle too. But just don't do it because you reap what you sow, right? So these people dimed them out. So we'll look at a little bit more of this. And I wanted to get into the Suge Knight thing with 50 Cent and why he was saying that what 50 Cent said messed up his parole. This I thought was another interesting case to follow and watch on how the government, the feds are handling that and how that evidence in that case made some differences, if you will. Let's finish up with this. I'm just going to move around a little bit just to give tidbits. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, everybody. You never know this is going to be you. Hopefully it won't be. But at the end of the day, you still need to know how the system works because the system works the way it works. And it works best when you know what's going on. I'm not saying you got to know it all because you don't. But the facts is the facts and the law is the law. And that's a good thing, everybody. So let's keep that going, and then we'll just see what happens here.
And got the judge to sign that warrant for them to raid Diddy's homes. And Mark Anglifo is saying that right there. As a matter of fact, I know y'all think, oh, well, Ticket, how you find all this stuff out, nigga? Because my ear is to the streets, nigga, and I read all this paperwork, nigga. I study to show myself approved. You know what I mean? I've done that. Straight up. I've done that. I've done that.
Let's see. There's a lot of dipping in here.
This is the
A
most
lot of buffering right now.
homemade Manjaro the internet has ever seen. I mix these four.
So Assistant One's claims are also called into question by the defense claiming that the government cherry-picked some of this person's statements out of context to use in their warrant applications. And then there is some bombshell news about someone referred to as Producer One. Now, we can't confirm it, but we believe there is an argument that Producer One is Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a music producer who filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs in early 2024. He claimed that not only was he not paid for the work that he did on the Love album, but that Combs used his influence to intimidate him into doing things like hiring sex workers. And Jones also alleges in his lawsuit that he was present for multiple episodes of abuse and violence that Combs allegedly inflicted on others. He even claims that Combs forced himself on him, groping him, insisting that Jones be present when he was naked or showering. But the motion to suppress states, quote, some of the most salacious allegations recounted in the warrant application came from Producer One, who the government now says it will not even call to testify at trial. The investigator indicated he had interviewed Producer One, and Producer One had relayed stories about his time working for Combs. Now, the exact details of what Producer One told his investigator is redacted, but the defense goes on to say these accusations were never credible. They were uncorroborated, redacted, and the government had boatloads of contrary evidence, including redacted. The government eventually dropped these allegations in later warrants, but their lack of credibility
I'm probably going to just stop this
from the outset.
I mean, at some point we got to stop it, you know? I feel like it's exhausting. I feel like it's so much salacious stuff about sex. Okay, we love it. Okay, like love. Okay, we love it. Oh my God. Is that where did it go from there? I mean, it went from loving it to liking it to obsession to absolutely perversion. So at anywho, you guys got the point. The point about the whole thing with the case and how everybody's coming out. I really don't care about the 2,000, what it seems, 3,000 people that said all this stuff happened, because it probably half of it's true. That the sickness of a person, it's not even funny. I was laughing because I was thinking about just the perversion and how people were in situations and you could have just left. You could have got up on out of there. but you figure because of him and his title, you could get what you wanted. And I understand that you can be vulnerable when it comes down to that and see what you can take. But if anytime you got to belittle yourself like that and do stuff for people, I mean, y'all, you have to say, you got to cut that right off the back, because if you play with it, you're going to get in trouble. And that's exactly what happened with some people. Some people probably was already into it, and then they just went in more with it and found themselves in a hole they couldn't crawl out of. But at any rate, we got the point with the Diddy thing, and as far as the RICO and how the co-conspirators and people who was there operating to help make it happen, and then also some of the people who were witnesses, and those witnesses came forth to help the government. The government was able to get all the evidence, and there's so much stuff now on Diddy that we got to pray for Diddy. You know, it's not funny at all. And like I said before, he didn't learn this overnight. He learned this from somewhere. I'm not blaming it on anybody particularly, but he learned it. And I believe he has the gift and call to be a very hospitable person, because he loves parties and so forth and so on, but not to a place where it's indecent, perversion, and you got to enhance it with drugs. You want it natural. Now, I mean, you might want to cruise things when you have champagne and little something here and there, but not so much where you're not coherent and you don't know what's going on and your mind is somewhere else. That, to me, it can't be a party. It can't be fun when you don't know what's going on. I don't see it. But at any rate, there's another one that I wanted to do, and we'll wrap it up, everybody. I wanted to just get on and get you guys back in the sync with what we were doing, to talk about Suge Knight. Now, Suge Knight was saying that his case was tampered with, if you will, or his parole was violated because of 50 Cent's making a comment about him. And I didn't know what he was talking about. So I said, let me look at this and see what's going on. Because one, I want to learn something and see what they're talking about, what the government's talking about, blah, 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 and what he's talking about, and see if it makes sense. And then, of course, tie it into the law, so forth and so on. So we're going to listen in on this, and we'll go back and talk about it on the other side regarding that. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we are going over here to play it. And this is also TicketTv too. TicketTV he's doing pretty good and keeping us up to date, everybody. Here we go.
All right, you guys. So press 1 if y'all can hear me in the comment section, man. Press 1 if y'all can hear me in the comments. Got a mic check going on, man. Saying this, man. I hate to see brothers going at it. You know, in the hip hop world, man. I kind of wish, you know, Suge is not a rapper. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I never really understood, outside of the whole situation when I saw like the video, why Suge had gotten sent back to prison, you know, for I think he got 28 years. And so today, all the dialogue, this dude's going down as a legend. Pastor, what's going on, man? Big salute to you. All the dialogue does interviews. This dude asked the right questions, but he asked a question, and I got an answer from that question, I guess, that I never thought that would be the answer to that question. And that was part of the reason why Suge is back in prison. Now, Suge Knight says, you know, well, first of all, I'll tell you what Suge Knight has been officially, why he's back in prison. If you look this up, you can look it up online. You can go to Google and type, why is Suge Knight in prison? You're going to see Suge Knight is in prison for a hit and run, which I've seen that, probation violation, and other felonies. Now it says that in 2018, Suge Knight pleaded no contest to a voluntary manslaughter in a fatal 2015 hit and run. I think I saw that video. I think that's the video I saw where he got into it with dude, and then he tried to leave or whatever. He ran back over there with the truck and stuff like that. I think that's the video right there. It says this conviction, along with previous felonies, triggered California's 3 strikes law. He was sentenced to 28 years in prison, and he's eligible for parole, you guys, in 9 years. So Suge Knight is eligible for parole in 9 years, right? Now, I'm going to look at Suge Knight's age right now. Let me see his age. Suge Knight is 59 years old. So he'll have a chance to be out when he's 68. Now, I want to talk about, because he said something in an interview, and he said that statements that 50 Cent had made on the interview he said he was violated by his parole after that. Now, I'm going to let you guys hear what he had to say. He was asked about a situation that I didn't even know anything about. Apparently, he was asked about a run-in that he had on the 50 Cent in the club video, music video set. So I guess 50 was shooting the in the club music video, and I guess he had an issue with Eminem, is what I'm thinking. And y'all have to go subscribe to Art of Dialogue. I'm gonna put a link to the actual video in the comment section after this video is over with, so y'all can check this out. But this is what he said.
Friday, I said, hey, I'm trying to put their business out there, and they can tell their own story. I said, hey, tell them that I didn't even know no internet. Leave that white woman alone. Give him a pass. All right? Moving forward, I'm fresh home. We go to a video shoot. Once we go to this video shoot, it's probably like 10 miles, maybe 15. It's probably like 20 of my Mexican homies, you know? Some real live Southsiders with all that. So as we come to the set, one dude said where he was from, time we got in the vicinity. He got smacked, he gets up, runs, and tells them that, hey, I'm outside, and we're outside. And you can hear all these dudes talking. They open the door up. When they open that door up, they didn't see nobody leaving or running. They seen bald-head brown, long-haired black, and bald-head black saying, come on. Next thing you know, they said they called the police. Next thing you know, you hear sirens. The helicopter shining the light. We barely got out of there. After I got out of there, I had a violation. 50 did an interview. It's Newsweek, Entertainment Weekly, or whatever. And they asked him about that. They said, hey, didn't they come up there to get y'all? And 50 was like, nah, he came. He just wanted to know who the new kid on the block was. They came up there real deep with Mexican gang members, black gang members. He said, is that a violation? Suge Knight, parole being around gang members? So, and I ended up getting violated on that type of stuff. So for is Eminem checking me, that's a laughing matter, you know. I mean, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, Eminem, you know, I'm not a rapper. I'm quite sure you can out-rap me. I'm definitely too big to slap the shit out of you. When if that's something you really want to get it, I'm quite sure I could find a little homie in his class and run it, you know. I don't know why everybody got so many stories. For me to be a person who just living my life, why are you worried about me? I'm in prison. But at the same time, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you go.
I don't understand how that had something to do with his parole. It just wasn't really clear to me on that. But as we wrap up the sessions today, I'm very glad I got a chance to connect with the YouTube family, if you will, on things that has been going on and pressing into my circumstances with my godson, with the district court. As I had already said earlier today, we were looking for some responses from the Deputy Attorney General's office, who have been seen like they've been delaying and asking for one extension after the next. So you all can go look into that as well. And the whole reason why we do these things in podcasts is to educate ourselves, to inform ourselves, and to inform the community about what might be going on, because maybe we can help somebody else and maybe they can help us. That's what this is all about. It's not about to take nobody down. It's not about a whole lot of gossip, but exposure to things or exposing things is a good thing, because in some cases, some people will straighten up and fly right. So for us at Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil, we have been thriving ourselves on trying to bring you content from great bloggers on YouTube who are digging and looking into information for you to make your own assessment. You don't have to make a judgment. You're not. Everything's an allegation. Now, some things obviously is going to play out when it's going to play out, but at the end of the day, it's to educate you and to empower you. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm glad today I was able to come and talk about the district court stuff. We talked about Angie Stone and her situation, and how sometimes even being in the industry, along with Michelle Trichenberg, I think it was, the young woman who died at 39, an actress, all this stuff with the industry and what that can bring, and the pressures of life and the decisions you have to make. For us and for some of us, it's about character. That's what it's about. It's about believing in yourself and not taking yourself down a road that you already know is wrong. That's why you're hiding it. And definitely with children, right? So at the end of the day, it's not a rocket science that you don't mess with children. Leave them alone. So at the end of the day, if the adults want to go do what they want to do it. Now, some of them are upset because they feel like they've been beaten into a submission. Okay, you couldn't run away. Oh, I got it. But at the end of the day, we have to be accountable to ourselves and to each other. Ourselves and then to each other, okay? So I think that was a great thing to just kind of summarize all what we talked about today, so that when you go back and look at it, you don't need to be interpretation. Write information or something to ask questions. We're all adults, some of us, and we need to ask questions. Just ask a question and then go from there. But anywho, I just think this was a good time today to spend this time with you guys, talking, conversing, and sharing information, because information does bring about revelation. I hope that you be empowered. I hope your life go the way it's supposed to go. Be encouraged. Try to help yourself and help those around you, because we're here in this place called life for a reason. We are. I ain't just drop in here. And it surely is not to be abused and taken advantage by a legal system, by a person or institution, or no one. So we need to find ways to respect each other, have character, and go where we need to go. And for those who want to live like a heathen and the devil, so forth and so on, you're going to reap what you sow, and there is a consequence of that. It's usually destruction in the end. That's what we believe. That's what I believe. So you make your own decision about what you want to do from day to day. But I'm just here to tell you, keep on living, because you will reap what you sow, whether it's good or bad. You decide. So this is Dr. Lil, Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. My name is Dr. Lillian Coley, and I'm excited. I'm excited about what's going on. I'm excited about what we're going to do next, and I'm excited about your life and you. So we look forward to talking with you soon on the next session of Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I'll be signing out, and we hope to talk to you soon. Be blessed, everybody. Be blessed, and we'll talk to you soon.